The term childcare relates to the provision of education and care for children. It is also used as an umbrella term to describe the different support services available for families with children under the age of 8. Childcare is used for a number of different reasons, and childcare does vary depending on the age group of the child and length of time spent with the caregiver. There are a variety of organisations and individuals who provide care for children, providing opportunities for learning and development until children reach school age. Childcare can be provided through nannies, providing childcare in the home and take care of children of all ages. Childminders, care for children under the age of 12, usually in the childminder's home. They are also accountable for collecting and dropping children off at school each day. Creche, offering occasional care for children under the age of 8. Toddler groups, informal parent and child groups, usually in a community centre or similar setting. Holiday play schemes, led by local authorities, voluntary organisations or charities providing a number of activities for children, such as arts and crafts, sports and drama. Preschool or playgroup, play and learning opportunities for young children, usually for the under 5s. Out of school clubs can include those before or after school for children aged between 4 and 14, offering a safe place to play and make friends. Day nurseries, care for babies and children up to school age. Sure Start centres, providing a place for learning, play for children and support for families. Childcare plays a key role in the learning and development of young children, and it primarily serves two purposes. The first is to provide the care that children need, and the second is to meet their developmental and educational requirements through creative-based activities. Many families make use of childcare during the week whilst they are at work, and for majority of programmes, even for very young children, will include some form of educational element, providing children with a strong foundation on which to develop academically when they reach school age. Effective communication in the workplace is important for a number of reasons, and employees should be able to understand who they should be communicating with, how often and how. Members of the workforce must interact with each other to ensure that the required work is completed as efficiently as possible, so that they can deliver the very best standards of care. Poor communication skills can result in a range of issues, such as duplicated work or something important being overlooked. In a childcare setting, you will usually have a manager. Even if you operate as a childminder, you will have certain rules and regulations that you have to comply with, usually determined by the local authority. Managers will often communicate to their workforce what is required. In the case of childcare, it will be the routines, standards, and policies that must be adhered to. If managers are not absolutely clear in their expectations of staff, mistakes will be made, and this could have a detrimental impact on the childcare provider. In a care setting, staff must also ensure that they establish and maintain effective communication channels with each other and partners. Employees have an obligation to understand what they are responsible for and who they should report to, as well as the resources they need to carry out their work. Effective communication about welfare, safety, and education of children is very important, and all of the necessary information should be shared with the relevant parties, in accordance with the Data Protection Act and confidentiality agreements. It is important to understand that not everyone communicates the same way. So as an employee, you should be able to adapt your style of communication so that you can support them in the best way that you can. Children and families may have a range of different communication requirements, which require consideration of numerous factors, including: Number 1, sensory capabilities. Number 2, cultural differences. Number 3, language. Number 4, self-confidence. Number 5, level of learning ability. Number 6, physical ability. It is your responsibility to ensure that your communication skills address the specific requirements of the people you are working with. Individuals should not be expected to adapt their communication to fit in with the caregiver. The most effective way of finding out about the requirements of children is to ask them, or their parent or guardian. Information about communication requirements and preferences can be found by simply observing or talking with other colleagues who have previously worked with the individual. It can be difficult going to the extent of establishing effective communications if you do not record these properly. You should always consult employer policies and practices as to how to record this information, where and when, noting specifically. Number 1. The method of communication the individual wishes and prefers. Number 2. How they communicate. Number 3. The most effective methods you have found to communicate with the individual. A number of elements can impact on an individual's ability to communicate effectively, and they are known as barriers to communication, because they prevent an individual capacity to send, receive, or understand key messages. Visual or hearing impairments can have a significant impact on effective communications. Caregivers should be aware of the different communication requirements, not only with children, but also parents or guardians too. Issues with hearing or sight can mean that signs cannot be read, leaflets cannot be read, and conversations cannot be heard. Conditions such as Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, and autism can all cause limitations to communication, which should be taken into consideration. For some, English can be a second or even third language, and it can be difficult to understand what information is being provided. If care providers only speak English, some people may find it extremely difficult to source the care for their children that they need. Other barriers include 1. Dialect. 2. Distress or emotional difficulties. 3. Slang or jargon. 4. Health issues. 5. Environmental problems. Overcoming barriers to communication is certainly possible, achieved by altering the environment or approach. Making changes to the physical environment can significantly improve communication channels. Communication can be improved by 1. Soundproofing rooms, eliminating any background noise or creating quiet areas. 2. Displaying posters with more than one language. 3. Ensure that care workers can be clearly distinguished. 4. Using communication aids where required. As you carry out your day-to-day work, you will access confidential information, and you must ensure that you respect confidentiality and adhere to all relevant policies and procedures. In particular, you should be aware that parents and/or carers have access to files on their own children, but they are not permitted to access the records for any other child. Staff should not discuss individual children with anyone other than the parent or carer of the child. Information provided by parents or carers must not be passed on to third parties. All employee records should be kept strictly confidential. Childcare establishments must fully comply with the Data Protection Act. Any concerns relating to a child and/or their safety should be kept in a confidential file and not shared with the childcare provider, other than their key worker and the manager. As an employee in the early years or childcare sector, you must understand your role and responsibilities because they can differ significantly between organisations. To ensure that you are suitably competent for the setting in which you have been employed, you should focus on what your role is and the skills that you need to carry out the work properly. One way to achieve this is to consult your job description, because these documents outline what you should be capable of as you go about your day-to-day duties. Core competencies in a childcare setting will include 1. An approachable, caring and patient nature. 2. Excellent communication skills. 3. The capacity to work with children and their families in a positive way. 4. Creativity and the ability to devise new activities. 5. An interest in childcare, education and development. 6. Awareness in safety and welfare of children. 7. Strong team working capabilities. 8. A commitment to continuing professional development. 9. Knowledge and understanding of safeguarding issues. If you are employed by an organisation such as a nursery, general childcare provider, or even the local authority, it is encouraged to reflect on your own practice so that you can develop professionally. Reflection allows you to identify what you do not know, how you could have approached certain situations differently, and how, as a childcare practitioner, you can improve your own competencies and capabilities in the workplace. Opportunities to reflect will also identify training opportunities through pinpointing any gaps in your knowledge or experience that you could develop through further training. There are a number of ways in which you can reflect on your own practice, including 1. Supervision. 2. Skills appraisal. 3. Creation of a personal or professional development plan. 4. Training plan. A personal development plan can be an excellent tool for defining your career path and setting goals or milestones to achieve specific long-term and short-term objectives. In your workplace, there are numerous ways in which you can access support, and these will help shape your professional or personal development plan. A great starting point is your supervision or appraisal. Usually carried out yearly, these are meetings that you have to attend with a supervisor or manager to discuss your performance and identify any issues. During these meetings, you will have the opportunity to develop a comprehensive training and development plan, identifying any areas of weakness and understanding how you can improve. The creation of a personal development plan is important because it will outline your training and development needs in terms of your career. Each time you attend a training course, this will be recorded in your plan and it will provide record of attendance. There are multiple development styles and models that you could implement through your development plan, and goals should be discussed with your immediate supervisor. The development plan should include 1. Each of the development areas relating to your area of practice. 2. Which skills you would like to develop, such as communication or specialist knowledge. 3. How you intend to reach your goals or targets through training, shadowing, or obtaining a qualification. 4. Realistic timescales for the achievement of the goals. Part of your development plan may identify that you need to develop your skills, knowledge, and understanding in one or more areas of practice. Childcare practice, policy, and ways of working are constantly changing, and as an employee, it is your responsibility to ensure that your knowledge and skills are up to date, and you have an understanding of the relevant legislation and guidelines. Ways in which you can develop your skills, knowledge, and understanding include 1. Training. In-house and external training can be used to acquire new skills and expertise. 2. Employee handbooks provide a wealth of information for new members of staff to fully understand systems and processes. 3. Trade press. Keep up to date with industry publications, attend industry events or workshops, and complete your own research. 4. Webinars. Use online training resources and webinars to enhance your knowledge and understanding of issues relevant to the industry. 5. Shadowing. Ask a senior member of staff if you could shadow them for a period of time to acquire new skills. Enhancing your knowledge, skills, and understanding can be achieved through a number of different avenues, such as learning and development, voluntary work, or even mentoring at work. When providing care for others, you must recognise that everyone is different and should be respected for who they are and not distinguished by any differences that the individual may have. All children are unique, and some children may require additional support to access care or education. In school, certain children may be supported through a special educational needs coordinator, a SENCO, or an inclusion manager. Specific pieces of legislation, such as the Equality Act, delivers a legal framework to safeguard the rights of individuals and promote equality across all age groups and abilities. As a childcare practitioner, you must ensure that your work is non-discriminatory, and as such, you should have a full understanding of practices, policies, and procedures to avoid discrimination. Equality relates to treating all children in such a way that addresses their specific care and educational requirements. Inclusion is about creating equal opportunities for all children regardless of their age, ethnicity, gender, background, or attainment level. Inclusion will focus specifically on the provision made for the achievement of goals and objectives for different groups of children within school or childcare. Working in an inclusive way is all about deploying the right attitude, approach, and strategy across all areas of your work to ensure that individuals are not excluded from care or left feeling isolated. Care workers must demonstrate that they deliver care for children that recognises individual needs, respects, and values diversity. Having a good understanding and responding in a tactful way to individual diverse needs supports them in a sense of belonging, well-being, and confidence in abilities and identities. Approaching work in this manner will ensure that all children can fulfil their potential. Employees who apply inclusive practice will demonstrate that they have an in-depth understanding of the significant impact inequality, discrimination, and social exclusion can have on children and their overall well-being. Adopting such an approach will allow the employee to deliver personalised support and childcare. Working in an inclusive manner also involves reflecting on behaviours and working practices, challenging colleagues, partners, or other service providers to alter their way of thinking and working, gradually changing services to comply with good practice and support diversity and equality. During the course of your work, there may be occasions when you will need to take action to source additional information in relation to equality, diversity, or inclusion. This could be as a direct result of 1. Reflecting on your own practice to develop your skills and knowledge. 2. The requirement to apply principles of diversity, equality, and/or inclusion in an unfamiliar situation. 3. Witnessing discrimination or treatment that you deem to be unfair in someone else's working practices and you need advice on how to deal with it. Information, advice, and guidance in relation to these issues can be found in several different places, and it is very important to reflect on your work and think about how you can improve the care and support that you provide for children. Reflecting on key situations or experiences can help determine if you require additional information, advice, or support, and this will help you progress as an employee. Key sources of information could include 1. Ways of working unique to your place of work. 2. Any frameworks relating to the care and support of children. 3. Speaking with senior personnel, including the management team, to seek advice or support. 4. Making use of informal meetings with other workers. 5. Appraisals or supervision with managers. 6. Research. Now for an activity exercise to help you demonstrate what you have learned. In 500 words, describe what childcare is and what it means to deliver good quality, inclusive care using the knowledge you have obtained in this module. Following this activity, you would have completed Module 1. We will move on to a quiz to summarise what you have learned. Now take time to review your notes, highlight any key points that you need to develop prior to starting the next section.